you know, what I love about Lindsey. So we are recording this. So if Lindsey, you can play this back for your team, and then Rita and I have done 8 weeks in total, and we're going to share all those with you so you can use them for your team. And last week we had Kathy Coover. She was awesome. We've had Chris Harder, just amazing trainers on here. And Rita, if you guys don't know, had Gabriel earlier this week. She had the baby. So if you guys want to say a prayer for him, he was in NICU for the first several days, and he's home now with them. So her and Dario and everybody's doing great, and baby Gabriel's doing better. So, but tonight, you guys, we're just super excited to have Lindsey Wynia on the line with us. I got to know Lindsey over the past year, and she's like dynamite. I mean, that's like the one word if I had to describe her. I mean, she's so kind and, you know, gentle, but she's dynamite. And what she's done in her business, when I read these, she was like, I don't want to be like boastful, so you don't have to read all this. I'm like, oh no, I'm reading all this because I want you guys to see what's possible. If you were at our Rise Up event this weekend, you know, for all of our 2 stars and above, then that was the, you know, the whole theme is like rattle your own cage. Like, we're not meant to be kept in cages, and our whole life the world puts us in these boxes. And like we shared at that event, the very first picture, the opening of Rise Up, you guys, we showed a cemetery, and I'm like, what is this to you guys? And I'm thinking, you know, they're all like, this is a great opening to a motivational weekend. And I just said, it's the potential. You know, when because of this pastor and his sermon, when I see a graveyard, I see potential. You know, books that were never written, and songs that were never sang, and ideas that never came to life because people died with it inside of themselves. And so we gave everyone a bird cage. And I said to them, like, I want to shake and rattle your cage this weekend, and I want you to go home and just tap people's cages because we live in a world where people settle for mediocre. And, you know, we raise kids, you know, unfortunately, that we just say it because they watch us, right? Our kids are like little video cameras with legs. And so if you set the bar high, your kids will set the bar high. And we took our 9-year-old with us. And on Sunday, we went to Jim and Kathy Coover's lake home in Lake Tahoe. And it was, I can't even describe it. And, you know, she was just like, Mom, she had to write a paper for English about what she learned being gone. And it was awesome, you guys. She wrote things in there like, always stay positive, do your best, you can have it all. And she's 9. And I just think, you know, that's what Lindsey is teaching, not only her team, but so many of us. I've been in the company 12 years, Lindsey, and you came in, and it's just like taking it by storm. And it makes me go, okay, get back in the trenches, do what I know to do. And so I appreciate you so much. But I want you guys to hear this. So Lindsey started with Isagenix in May of 2015. She was a scared cleanser and didn't put the system to test for a few months. After that, she couldn't not share. And if you guys haven't seen Lindsey's before and after, she's had amazing, amazing results. She missed manager and director. So I want you guys to think about that. If you have people on your team that have missed those ranks, don't like give up on them, because she raced to Crystal Executive and hit it in only 90 days. She and her husband previously owned a brick and mortar pizza store, but they closed that, and they do Isagenix now full time. She has 5 kids, another mom of 5 kids, so she has my heart. Her kids are ages 16 down to 4, and she has still managed to crush her business. I mean, crush it. And her kids are her why, not her excuse. And I love that. I say that all the time about our family of 5. She was number 2, you guys, in both personally and team for the 2016 ISA Derby, number 1 for President's Quest 2017, number 1 for Leader in Action 2017 for Banff, number 1 for Leader in Action at NYKO 2018, number 2 for Leader in Action Top Achievers Maui 2018, number 1 for the Cruise Ship Team Cruise Crushers Championship Challenge 2017. She's a 9-star Platinum, 8-star Crystal Executive. It's like a mouthful, you guys. Oh my gosh. I mean, I have my notebook and I've been ready because I want to hear everything she's going to share with us about how she's built her business, you know, sharing her story, and then she's going to like blow us away on really the back office and reporting, whatever she wants to share. We're so excited about Lindsey. So welcome to our team call, and we are so excited that you're here.
My gosh, thank you, Hilari. Can you guys hear me okay? So thank you so much for that. I'm so excited to be here. And what excites me most about doing these calls, and the reason why I say yes, and the reason why I do this, is because I was you. I was sitting on the other side of these Zoom calls, begging and praying for information. My sponsor and the sponsor above her started just a couple months before myself. So when I would ask questions, about the business, I would literally get the answer, I don't know. And so it really was up to me to figure it out. And I want to just empower you all right now. And you can figure this out. And I'm so proud of you. I just want to honor all of you for being on this call, for spending your time here. I'm going to provide value for you. But what I really, really want you to know is that you can do this. And it's just all up to you and the work you put in. No longer look up to your enrolling sponsor, no longer look down to the person beneath you. Just look at yourself and what you can accomplish and just pour in massively, serving your team in return, and you will accomplish everything that you want to accomplish. So I just want to empower you. You're in the right place, you're listening to the right calls, and if you put this information into action, you will absolutely build yourself an incredible business. And I said this from the stage at Celebration, but you guys, like, don't compare journeys, because I did it in a very short period of time, but I literally had a gun to my head. We had a business, a pizza store. It was not doing well. It was bleeding money. I knew that I had a very short time to build this business so that we could close those and walk away. And so I had a very short timeline where I was looking to feed an entire family of 7 people, and I just like went nuts. So, you know, don't compare your journey. Like, if you have that kind of pressure on you, like, pressure creates diamonds, right? So if you got that kind of pressure, like, I don't envy you, I feel you, I totally resonate with you, but don't compare with me, because I had a gun to my head. Just realize that, you know, your destiny is in front of you, and it's totally up to you, and you can control that however you want to. So I just want to make sure you guys, first and foremost, don't compare, just you know, go with your own journey. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and hopefully this will work for me today. All right. So, you know, one of the things that I learned to do early on, which was very, very important, is finding people who wanted to build an isogenics business. How many of you want to find those people in your organization? Like, just raise your hand. Like, I want to find the people who want to build a business. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to actually do this. And just, you know, really where to look for people. Now, when you think about your business, I want you to take complete and total ownership of what is yours. Anything from you down is your business. And I'm not telling you to like step over people and to step on toes and to make people unhappy, but we all know that there are people who work their business and there are people who don't. And I just decided that I was going to take responsibility for anyone who came into my organization. And if they had a leader, fantastic. I was going to support that leader. And if they didn't have a leader, I was totally just going to reach down to them, give them the love and support they needed, and really pour into them. So what I'm here to tell you tonight is how to find potential runners in your business. The first thing you want to do is use your back office and your reports to identify people who may need your help. And I'm going to go through those reports in a second. Always keep in mind that people don't know what they don't know. We all come into this business as little baby deer. We like can barely walk. We have no idea what we're doing. Unless someone tells you, you really don't know. So I think people underestimate the amount of work that it takes to develop a leader in this business. It takes a lot of growing and a lot of time and attention. Now, listen, just follow this. I just heard this analogy last night and I love this. I'm going to share it with you. It's not mine. Janie Snowgrove said it, but basically, you know, you can plant the seed and you can nourish a seed, but you can't make the plant grow. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And you can't make it grow at a certain rate, right? So you can be responsible for planting it and nourishing it, and then it's got to grow on its own. So clearly there's going to be people who are growing faster than others based on the time and effort that they're putting into their own business. You should never work someone's business for them, but you should definitely be giving them tools to work their business. Find people in your organization who are interested in getting to the next level. You guys, the best way to do this is ask the question. Hey, tell me what your goals are with Isogenics. Hey, tell me how much you would like to make in a month. Quit assuming that you know, because you don't. It's really important to have these conversations one-on-one with people. And I just spent a weekend at a seminar with Brendan Bouchard, and he said, without those goals, without clear, definable, measurable goals, people will not take action at all. So your primary goal should be to help people set goals. And so the way that I usually do that is I usually ask for a dollar figure. Tell me what dollar figure you would like to make. And like, I want you to hear me say, when I started this, I was not like, hey, I'm going to be an Isagenix millionaire. I was like, hey, I'm in love with Ionics because it makes me not want to kill my kids every day. And I'm going to find a way to get this in my body every day, even though I purchased this on a credit card that my husband never looks at. I literally did that, you guys. And so I had to find a way to get my products paid for, and without him, so that he couldn't make a fuss with me buying these products. So I did, you guys. I started sharing, and you know, that's what I wanted to begin with. The next thing I really wanted is I really wanted to have someone to clean my house, you guys. I hate cleaning my house. I have no love for it. I have 5 kids and a husband who doesn't really care about cleanliness. I wanted someone else to come in and clean my house for me. And the other thing I wanted was a new car. These are very measurable, definable goals. And so everyone needs to start with those measurable, definable goals. Okay. It's super important that you know what they want, because if you're over there trying to coach them to be an Isagenix millionaire and they just want their products for free, they're going to shut you out in a big hurry if you're not really giving them the information that they want based on their needs. Does that make sense? I can't see the chat, so I'll come back out of this afterward and try to scroll through the chat. Invite them to take the next step. So this is just a real clear way to just find out what they want and then give them the piece by piece by piece instructions on how to get to the next step. And you have to be clear, you guys. You have to be really give them like a broken down way to get to where they want to go. Okay, now I can't advance my slide. This happened to me last time. Okay, let's stop my share for a second. I hope I don't have to do this. Oh my word. Google hates me. It logs me out. If I can't get this up in a big hurry, I will have to hang tight, you guys. Sorry.
You're fine. While you're doing that, Lindsay, I'll talk for a second. So you guys, it's incredible. I mean, I already have a page of notes. Like, she's so brilliant, and it's just the simple things, but I love when she said, don't underestimate the work it takes. Because I think sometimes people think, oh, well, Lindsay just came in 3 years, this is what happened. She got a couple good people and there you go. I mean, that's not what happened. And that's not what happens for any of us that have built this business. And so, you know, I love when she said, I wrote down, I put a huge star, clear, definable, measurable goals, and get a dollar figure, because like we have new enrollments that we're just working with. And, you know, I've said like, okay, let's run to director, let's run to this place. But I haven't got a date from them. So when we get off here and I get my kids to bed, I'm going to call them and we're going to get like clear goals of exactly when they want to complete it. So you're back, Lindsay.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, it's
so
perfect.
This is, you know, what I did is I systematically looked for super enrollers. So super enroller to me is anyone who enrolls 5 people or more. Now, when Eric Worre talks about super enrollers, he says 10 people or more. I say 5. Because if you can close the deal with 5 people in Isagenix, you've got someone who knows how to close a sale, and they can potentially do that a lot more times if you give them just a few tools. So you've got to find your super enrollers and do that. Oh, you guys. Why does my computer hate me? Here we go. Can you guys still see that, or now is it? Can you guys still see that? No. Wait. Can you see my screen? Yes or no? Sorry. Hilari.
No.
No. Just you.
Okay.
Just your beautiful.
Do you
my
want
gosh.
Lindsay, maybe you want to maybe try to email it to me and I'll pull it up on my end too? Or there you go. Well, we can see now if you just want to do it in that.
Okay, this is. I'm not gonna do presentation. Hopefully, it'll just stay up this way. Sorry.
Perfect. It's perfect.
So, you want to look for super enrollers, people who have enrolled 5 people or more, people who have active product users. So, you know, not someone who's enrolled 5 people, but they're all inactive. And look for people who have banked volume, and you want to try to get people paid. Okay. So one of the ways that I do this is simply just clicking through my back office, and this is not scientific, and you know, there's no report. I will get to reports in a minute, but you guys, some people don't know this, but do you see these little plus buttons to the left of these people, this allows you to expand someone's information and see if they've enrolled anyone. Now, look, it would be fantastic if this was like a different color, if they had someone enrolled, and I'll talk to corporate about it. But right now it's hard to get things changed in our back office. But basically, if you click on these plus buttons, you can see if someone's enrolled someone. So I know that Holly McDonald here has enrolled some people. She's enrolled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. To me, she would be considered a super enroller. And I would be getting ready to have a conversation with her about getting her to what level. And you know, like manager is where you want to take her. So, you know, she's got 6 people. She can create 2 consultants out of 6 people. So I'm not talking to her about getting to executive. I'm just not. Now, if she had enrolled 20 or 30, you better believe I'd be all over her to get to executive, and I'd be all over her to do it fast. So many of you are missing huge opportunities because there are people in your organization somewhere who are ready to do this, and they just don't know what to do next, and they've enrolled a bunch of people that have no clue what to do. And I personally think it's your job to reach out to them and tell them the next steps. Now, some of you are like, hey, I've only enrolled 5 people. That's totally fine. Your next step is to get to manager and to help your people share. The number one mistake that people make in their isogenics business is they don't tell everyone to share. And I'm guilty. I was that person. It probably took 1.5 years for me to really tell every single person about the business opportunity. I was doing this, it might sound familiar to you. Oh, hey, like, let me know if you want to get your products paid for, because I can help you do that if you want. No. If you want to have success in your isogenics business, every single person that you enroll, you ask the magic questions to, and there's 3. You know, in a couple of weeks, you're going to look and feel amazing. I totally got this from Susan. It's not a Lindsey original. In a couple of weeks, you're going to look and feel amazing. And you have 3 options. The first option is you can refer the people who ask you what you're doing to me. I'm happy to take them on and coach them, and I will get compensated for that. And thank you so much. I totally love referrals. The second thing you can do is you can get them started and you can get some of your products paid for. Or the third option is, you know, every single person I know has a bill that's hanging over their head. For me, it was my utility bill. It cost me $600 in the summer, and I was literally dividing it up into 3 payments, and I was paying my summer utility bills all the way into December. It stressed the living daylights out of me. What bill do you have that totally stresses you out that you would like to get covered? You're asking questions. Stop making assumptions. Please don't make assumptions. You have no idea what people need, and I just really need you to hear me say you need to ask every single person what they want. And quit acting like you know, because you don't know until you ask them, okay? So that's just really important to do. All right, one good way to find these people is Isopulse, you guys. I truly do love Isopulse. I watch it all the time.
Hey, Lindsey, you're muted again. It just happened.
So the other thing I love is Isopulse here. Isopulse is a great way to find out where people are at, and it's a quick like snapshot. Now, this doesn't go past 4 PET. So, you know, if you want to find people below that, you're going to have to go and do all the blue plus button clicks. But here's a quick snapshot. So Michelle Ryan enrolled by Jennifer Rivera, who I know is enrolled by Jessica Romney, who I enrolled. So Michelle is what I would consider a super enroller. Yay, Michelle. And she's enrolled to Jennifer. So if I really wanted to help Jennifer in her leadership, I would reach out to Michelle and I'd say, hey, Jennifer, Michelle is a super enroller. She's enrolled 7 people. Let's work on getting her to manager. And I would give Jennifer specific details on how to help Michelle rank advanced to manager. For Deborah over here, Deborah's enrolled to Julie Haskins, who's enrolled to my Cindy Fitch. And so Julie, I would reach out to Cindy here and say, oh my gosh, Deborah is almost to getting her first set of free vitamins. She's got a $100 consultant bonus. She can get double PIVs. This was Sunday night, so this is not for this week, but you know, you can make her aware that she can get double PIVs one more day. She's also only 99 BV away from a cycle. So potentially you could get her paid free vitamins, $200 in potential pack bonuses, and a cycle. And if you're not having these conversations with people regularly, and showing them what to look like, what to look for, you're just missing out on a huge opportunity. Okay, so here's another screenshot where I have shared, or where I have clicked open the plus button. You can see right here, I clicked open the plus button. There was all these people. Here I did it as well. And I'm just looking. You guys, I spend a lot of time looking for people in my organization. And I've trained my leadership to do the same. So clearly, I mean, I have an organization of over 12,000 people now. I'm not going to find everyone. I'm just not. But I am going to, about every 6 months, I ask my leaders to go into their back office and find all of the new super enrollers so that we can rank advance a new group of leadership on our team. Super, super, super important. And of course, you're looking for people who have BV here over on the side. Now, this is my personal opinion, and Hilari can chime in if she wants, but I personally, I don't attract a lot of network marketers, okay? I didn't come from another network marketing company. I don't have all these network marketers who are following me. I have mamas, like people with lots of kids. You look across my organization, I got lots of people with lots of kids. And they're just happy product users, and they get fired up when they start to feel amazing about our incredible products. Well, product users tend to come in as preferred customers. Now, this is my business strategy. Again, I don't know if this is a departure from other people, and it's okay if it is. Sometimes you have to take what you want, leave what you don't want. But I prefer to change all of my people to associates as soon as possible. And the reason why, not to take away the bonuses from them for going to manager or whatever, but they only have 3 months before all of their BD is frozen. Now, if you have a network marketer who comes in and sees this opportunity and they're fired up, yes, you guys, have them wait until they have their first 2 enrollments to become an associate, so that the clock doesn't start ticking until they do. But those moms who are just happy product users, you guys, hear me say, you better get them banking volume. And so one of the first things that you can do tonight to really make a huge impact on your team is go through your entire back office and find all the people who are preferred customers and get them to change to an associate. And what that will do is it will allow them, if they are happy product users and they're ordering BV every month, it will allow them to bank all their volume. And then you can have a very important conversation with them about getting paid. My favorite conversation I ever had was with my friend Jessica Romney. She hated network marketing. She hated network marketers. She's now a 2-star executive on my team. And she was like, Lindsey, I don't want to share. Like this, it's creepy what you do. She's like, it's weird. I'm not interested. And I kept showing her all the banked volume in her back office. And she was like, well, what is it? Well, how much is it? And every month I would tell her it was a little bit more. And I would use the banked volume number in her back office. When that number was about $726, she was like, okay, I'll find 2 people. And guess what, you guys? She liked the money. So even though she thought network marketing and network marketers were creepy and she didn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole, she didn't mind getting a double pack bonus and getting like 6 or 7 cycles paid out. She was like totally fine with that, plus a $50 consultant bonus. And so I got her paid one time. And Eric Worre says, if you get someone paid one time, you'll retain them for up to a year in your business. If you're not getting people paid, just hear me for a second. If you're not getting people paid, you will be chasing your dreams, because for every person that gets enrolled, 1 will drop off because you're not creating any retention by getting people paid. If people are getting their products for free every single month, are they going to go away? They're not. I have a person who's been a manager for 3 years. She enrolled about, I don't know, probably about 15 to 18 people. She actually rank advanced 6 consultants, but never all at one time. It was always like one was active, one was inactive. So her ultimate rank was manager. You guys, she's been getting her products for free for 3 years. She's never not going to order her Isogenics product. And Manager Factory is where it's at if you want to solidify your business center, okay? Manager Factory, create managers. It's how you can really solidify your business. Anyone from a manager below, they're a volunteer army. They're not interested in building an Isogenics business, maybe. But I can tell you this much. If you don't get them to manager and you don't get them paid at least that much, the light switch never goes on to them deciding they want to do a little bit more. Does that make sense? So it's really your job to really guide them through that process. get them as far as you can. If they decide that manager's it and that's where they're at, right, let them be a manager forever. But you then need to find the people who say, hey, you know what? I kind of like that. I think I want to do a little bit more. So here's another report, the Team Builders Club. This is kind of like a super enroller report, right? Because these people only have 2 enrollments or 1 enrollment left to get free vitamins. To me, this is a super enroller report. This is right in your back office under reports and under blueprint. What's it called? Blueprint. Something blueprint. Anyway, under reports in your back office, someone said it in the chat, although I still can't see the chat. Let's see if I can see it. How do we get them to the process of manager? You know, I'm going to answer these questions at the end. That's a good question though. So get them their free vitamins. They're going to love that. So that's a really incredible step. So go to reports, go to your back office, go to reports, and the blueprint report is always the first one that shows up, and your Team Builders Club participants is right there. Here's another report. This one is new members within the last 30 days. Now, this is an incredible way to connect with the new people that are coming to your organization. You all have people who bring people into Isogenics and they never ever reach out to them after that. You know that this is true. We all have them. People who like to enroll but don't necessarily like to coach, okay? So this is a great way to connect with people in your organization who are just getting started. I send out a simple message, and I'll have to send it to Hilari later because I don't think I have it here on my computer, but it's a simple message that basically just introduces myself. Hey, my name's Lindsey. I'm super excited to have you part of the team. I enrolled so-and-so. So I only send this to 2 PET. I'm not weird. I don't send it to 3, 4, 5, 6 PET, because if you do this and if it duplicates, the people that you enroll should be doing the same thing, right? So it should duplicate. But basically you can look over at this list over here, and anyone who is my 2 PET, I would send this message to. And the phone number is actually right here, but I blacked it out for people's privacy. But you would just send them a quick text message introducing yourself. And I actually put a little blurb about how they can get their Isogenics products for free, because chances are the person who enrolled them did not tell them. So this is just a way to kind of create that triangulation and to make sure that everyone's getting that information. Now, if your person's awesome and they for sure tell everyone about how to get paid, like, don't worry about it. But if it's sketchy and you're not sure if they are telling people, take responsibility and tell people how to get paid. I have no problems with that. Once you have found a super enroller, you need to really cast the vision. I'm not kidding you guys. Super enrollers are special. People who can enroll 5 people, they're special and they need to know it, especially if they're enrolling like 15, 20, 30 people. You need to be like, holy cow, you're amazing. Not everyone can do that. You're a super enroller. I want to reach out to you and really work with you to get them to the next level. Make a personal phone call. Touch them and tell them how amazing they are. I was with Jessica Rigner and Laura Stevens this last weekend in Washington, D.C. They all do this. We talked about it. They all reach down and encourage people in their organizations. And if they don't have a direct leader who's helping them, they reach down and they do it. They rank advance with them. So that's important to do. Again, have the conversation, find out what they possibly want to do with their Isogenics business, and cast. One of my favorite things to do is really cast the vision with getting to director by showing them the director leadership pool report. So if you don't know how to do that, go to reports in your back office and look at the director report, and it will show them what they can make in the director pool if they would have been a director. Now, if they've been doing a good job, hopefully they have a plus number. And you guys, $500, which is like the minimum amount in the director pool for 1 to 5 cycle growth. That's a lot of money to a lot of people. And when you tell them, by the way, if you would have been a director last month, you could have made an additional $500. They will fall out of their chair. So this is one of the ways that I really help encourage people to get to the next level. Everyone can, so I have them pull up the report for me because you can't see their director report. So when I get on the phone with them to talk to them about being a super enroller, I say, hey, just real quick, can you hop on and print up this report and tell me what it says? And then I'm casting that vision for what's possible, okay? Here it is right here. You go to reports and it shows what they would have gotten. So like this person right here would have gotten 8, which would have been $1,000 in the director pool. Okay. So like, I'm just having the conversation. I say, oh my gosh, had you been a director this last month, you would have gotten $1,000 additional dollars of pay, and their faces will light up. They'll be a little mad at themselves that they're not a director, but it's a great way to start a conversation. Did you know that associates who participate in the executive leadership pool in their first 6 months are 70% more likely than those who do not participate to be a customer or associate after 2 years? You guys, I could go on and on and on and on about statistics about getting people paid and having them retaining your business. But let me tell you what happens when you don't get people paid. You enroll someone, someone drops off. You enroll someone, someone drops off. You enroll someone, someone drops off, and your cycles never grow. So if you are there, if you're stuck in that position and your cycles are not growing, your problem is you're not teaching people to share, or your organization's problem is they're not teaching people to share, because that's where you get the explosive growth that I've had in my business and that Hilary's had in hers, is we're constantly teaching people to share Isagenix. So one of the ways you can do that is really cast the vision with the crystal roadmap to executive. This is an old copy, I think, but I don't think these bonuses are right anymore, but you get the idea. Pull it out and show them what's possible. Show them the next step. Tell them what they need to do. People don't know what they don't know, and so you need to stop making assumptions that they know what's next, okay? This is one way. So I talked to you before about turning people into associates, and this is why. There's something called banked volume, okay? Banked volume is a super important way to have a conversation with someone. And if they didn't change from preferred customer to an associate, they don't have banked volume. So when I told you that I was telling Jessica, my friend Jessica, every month about what she was gonna make, you have to look at this banked volume. Now this person right here, it's always like a 600 side and a 300 side. So this person, if they enrolled someone on their right and their left, they would cycle 2 times, so $108. This person would cycle, what is that, 3, 6, like maybe 3 times. Mm-hmm. So this is something that you need to be constantly talking to people about their banked volume. They need to understand the importance of banking this volume and that it's actual cash. The other day, I was having a conversation about this with my leadership team, and I was just clicking through the back office while I was talking to them and telling them how important it was. I found a lady, you guys, I found a lady who had 40, or 40. How much was it? She made $2,000. So it was, I think 40. I think she had 40 banked cycles. No one told her. No one told her. So I literally picked up the phone myself and I said, hey, how would you like to make $2,000? And she was like, I would like it. And I was like, awesome, because all you need to do is get one other person enrolled on your left side and you will get paid out $2,000. Do you guys want to know what she did with that money? She put a down payment on a car. Okay. How many people can you help by showing them the banked volume that they have in their back office? You guys need to be more aware and really have a heart of service in getting people paid. So pushing across the invisible line is kind of what I was talking about with Jessica. You know, some people don't even know what doing an Isagenix business is. Personally, I don't really think you're doing a business until you're an executive. So I don't even say those words to someone until they've gotten to that point. But what I'm talking about when I'm talking about pushing people across the invisible line is really just taking that person to the next step. Stop, you know, like, yes, cast the vision for executive. Yes, cast the vision for what's possible, but don't skip steps. Tell them what to do next. The next step is manager. The next step is director. Here's how you get here. Here's what you have to do. Does anyone have banked volume? You know, let's create some consultants. Let's get on some 3-way calls. You know, who do you have that has banked volume who enroll a couple people? Really just helping people get to the next step and really pushing them across the invisible line. Look, you guys, I don't have a single solitary person who's one of my direct executives who like crushed it and ran to executive. I literally had to push each one of them across the invisible line, and they would be the first ones to admit it. But they're also happy that I did. Now, it's not, you can't like push someone who doesn't want to go. I want to be clear. Like, these people, they raised their hand and they said, I want to, show me what the next step is. And I'm not going to say I never got resistance from them. I mean, sometimes they were like, oh my gosh, Lindsey, like, okay, I'll try. And so sometimes it was a little uncomfortable for them, but they are the ones who raised their hand and said they wanted more. If they raised their hand and said they wanted more, I feel like I have carte blanche. But this is why I'm telling you to have the conversation, because if you don't have a conversation and you're pushing someone, you're going to get a lot of negativity coming your way. Have the conversation, and if they raise their hand and say, yes, I want that, then you have the ability to push someone without, upsetting them. So I want you to know that an executive sprint is just that. It is a sprint. It's an all-out gut fest. It's a serious push. You got to go fast. You have to have sip and samples. You have to power post. You have to get your people power posting. It's work. It's a lot of work. And, you have to be prepared, as well as the person who you're trying to get to executive has to be prepared. There wasn't a single push to executive that I did with one of my people that was like a super easy cakewalk. It's work, and you have to push, and you have to really encourage them and pour on the positivity and really be there for them. Every single person that I helped get to executive, I was right there by their side, answering all their questions, pushing with them till the last minute. You need to be fully present and engaged when you're really helping someone get to that next level. They're going to need you. They're going to want you there, holding their hand and really running with them. And you know what, you guys, like, if you're not to executive yourself, you have to get there first. Like, you have to get there first and really cast the vision and show what's possible. I want you guys to hear me say, like, when I came into this business, someone said, you get to it. Like, I said, what do I do? And they said, get to executive. And I just did it. I didn't have anyone telling me what to do. They're like, have all your 10 people enroll 2 people. I was like, okay. And I just did it. I didn't think about it. I didn't ask why. I just did it, you guys. And sometimes I just think people dig their heels in and drag so hard and make it impossible for themselves. Sometimes you just gotta let go and just go for it and just run like crazy to try to get to it. Hey, Susie's on here. Susie's one of the people that I drug across to the executive line. She'll totally admit it. Like, I was right there at the last minute. Susie, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. So sometimes you just have to really push with people and get them there. Okay, so see, she just said yep. Okay, so the question was, how do we guide them through the process to manager? So I don't have a checklist. Because what are you going to do? Send them a checklist and be like, follow this checklist? No, you're going to have to hold their hand. So what I say is, all right, you've got 5 active people here. And I have them tell me a little bit about each person. And then I have them go through, and we go through and we look at their banked volume. If they have any, if they don't have any, I tell them to make them an associate. I also encourage them to continue to enroll, because you might have 5 people, but if you haven't been openly telling people about the business opportunity, they may give you a lot of resistance. So I tell them to keep enrolling. And then I help them have conversations with their 5 people about how to get their products paid for. And if they haven't done that before, I can be involved and do a 3-way call, or I'll give them words to do it and have them do it by themselves. I kind of let them decide if they want my help or not. But I literally am right there, like, okay, you need 2 people to share with 2 people. And I'm talking to them about their transformations, and I'm helping them maybe put together a power post. You guys, I've written power posts for every single person in my organization. Like, I write them, you guys. I help them. Like, people aren't going to be like, oh, let me just write my first power post. They're not going to. They're going to be scared. They're going to be shy. They're going to be timid. They're not going to know what to say, so they don't. They're frozen because they don't know what to do. So I take a lot of that out of their control, and I just do it for them. So one of the things that I do is when someone sends me a text about their incredible results, I say, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. You should post that on Facebook. And sometimes they just go like, haha, whatever, and I'm like, no, seriously, like, and I'll tell their story back to them with their own words, but I'll like make it look like a power post, and I'll just say, post this. And I'll even sometimes go grab pictures off their Facebook wall and do a side-by-side, or I'll ask them to send me a recent picture and do a side-by-side for them. And I will do the actual graphic for them, send it back and say, post this. And they will. So again, you have to be right there, really holding their hands and helping them through the process, because they're typically not going to do it. And those are people you're just helping them to share. Like, these are not your runners. Like, runners are going to be a lot more maybe self-motivated, but these are people who you're just trying to get to share, maybe so that you can get to executive. Okay.
Lindsey, I was going to say, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You guys, for sure, like Lindsay said, every preferred customer should become an associate when they enroll. Like we switch every single person. I was just talking to Kathy about this last week, and she's like, what's the deal? And I'm like, people let their people with the new customer first come in as preferred customers, and there's no sense of urgency to get to manager or to get to director and executive, guys. And so if you're having a lull in your business, I would just challenge you to take a look at your back office and see how many of your own people, and then your 4PET, even how many of their people are coming in now, all preferred customers and customer first, and call all of them and say, switch now, switch now. Like, I don't even make it a big deal, Lindsay, because I think like they're coming to us, asking us what to do. So you guys, I just say this is part of the process, and we put in your information, and then we click the purple button, and we load in your birthday and your social. Like, I don't say, oh, it's a new thing, and we're worried about your social security number. You guys, whatever you project, that's what they receive. So I just act like it's what we've always done, and everybody becomes an associate. Because when Lindsay said about the banking volume, yes, I mean, we've had people on our team with thousands upon thousands of BV banked that 2-3 years later, they'll say, hey, look, I want to do this now. And they literally have 100. We had a lady come up here from my house. It's crazy, Lindsay. She's been on my team for 12 years. Lindsay is so awesome. She's copying everything for us. But she's been on our team for 12 years, you guys. I want you to hear this. 12 years. And her and her husband have decided to build the business. She's an anesthesiologist and he's an orthopedic surgeon. And they just were never ready to do the business. You guys, she had over 3 million, with an M, million BV banked on her left leg. And she's like, what do I do? And I was like, holy smokes. You know, because I knew she'd always stayed a consultant. She's always stayed a consultant for 12 years, never had the desire to build. And so you guys, it's like a non-negotiable. Put everybody as an associate.
I totally agree. How do you figure out how many times they will cycle when they have holding volume on top of banked volume? So you take the banked volume always goes to the minor leg. So you add the minor leg plus the banked volume, and then whichever side is greater is the 600 side. So once you've added the two together, that's going to be the heavier side, you know, whatever side is heavier. That's going to be the 600 side. So you take the smaller side and divide it by 300, and that's how you figure out how many cycles they're going to make. Okay? Okay. All right. Any other questions? Because I think I'm just going to open it up to questions now and see if you guys have any additional questions.
I have a question, Lindsay. This is Bree.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, okay, so what would you say if you had, I have about, I think like 3 to 5, 3 personal enrolled. I think there's a couple other that I didn't enroll that all got to director but did not get quit before they made it to executive. And I feel like there's such a line that I don't know what is doing it for them and dragging them versus just encouraging them and getting them there. I mean, all 3 of them were in, like all in, 2 feet, worked hard. Hilari presented for them. She did Zooms for them. They all knew the comp plan. They all knew everything. They all got to director, and then people started falling off. And I feel like, was I doing something to not get, I mean, I should have 3 executives and I have 0, and I've been in almost 4 years. That is not my story. I'm learning from that. I now build executives. Like, I changed the story in my head. But I'm wondering moving forward, like if you have had that, and if so, and they all have maxed out legs still. They're all great orders. They're great product users. I'm grateful for them and their journey and everybody they brought in, because they brought in a lot of great product users. But I'm not getting those executives because they quit when it gets hard. And I don't want to drag them. Nobody dragged me. Nobody dragged you. But I'm getting a kind of a, well, sometimes you might have to a little bit to get them to a certain point versus them being self-motivated. I don't know. So what would you go back? Should I go back to them and see if maybe now's their time? Or they all know what they have sitting there. They all know. And they're my friends. Like, not, I don't talk to them all the time. But what would you say or do to those people right now if you were me?
Well, first of all, I'll use one of my favorite Eden Sloman quotes. It's better to give birth than raise the dead. Yeah. So I don't think I would spend much more time with them. But what I would say going forward when you're working with people is set correct expectations. Tell them that people are going to fall out. tell them they have to create 20 consultants before they're going to have a stable executive, team. Let them know ahead of time that they have to create 20 consultants in order to stay paid as executive. Like that's the reason, you guys, that's the reason why we get $100 for the first 20 consultants. It's not because they're just generous. It's because you need 20 consultants to stay paid as executives. So I find across the board, setting expectations is super, super important. Like if you're not telling people ahead of time, look, you've got to create 20 because, people are going to fall out. Or if you're not saying, it's normal, like if you're not normalizing things that are pretty dang normal, they're going to get discouraged and go away because you didn't prepare them for what was going to happen. That makes sense? Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks, Bree.
Hey guys,
Awesome.
if you have questions, just unmute your line.
Am I unmuted?
You're good. You're not unmuted now. You were, and now you muted yourself. There you go.
There you go. Okay, sorry. Thank you so much, Lindsey, for your time. And I saw you in Celebration and you were amazing. And I have so many questions. I don't even know what to do with myself. I feel like I want to explode. But the first one is so super basic, but I've been waiting to ask you this because I have a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. And what did you do with your kids? Because I've only been doing this for 4 months, I think, and I've got 12 people under me, but they took so much to get those 12 people. I don't have anybody who's sharing or interested. I don't have any builders. And I know it's all reflects on me, but then I also have this tremendous guilt because all of this is time away from my children. And I want to do it for my kids, but did you have them in front of the TV or a nanny or what did you do?
No, I didn't. I think that's kind of funny because it looks a lot different than it looks now, in the beginning. So in the beginning, I was working a part-time job. I was actually doing all the marketing for my husband's pizza company. He was working full-time and I had 5 kids. So I was literally in the car, on a call, having 3-way calls. I was like the queen of multitasking, which I don't necessarily condone. And I'm just going to tell you, it wasn't pretty. I don't remember really putting them in front of the TV. We don't let our kids watch TV during the week. But I mean, look, I told them I was busy. Now, look, I only had 1 child under the age of 5. So, and I also had a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old who could watch that child. So, that's different. Like, honestly, if I were you, I might get help because you do have to create time. I mean, I don't know, like I'm not in that position. I'm not in the position you were in. I had a husband who would come home and watch my 2-year-old at the time. So we're kind of in a different position. I don't even know if I could answer that, but all I'm going to tell you is this. It's going to be ugly and it's going to be messy and just accept it, A. And B, one thing I recommend to all of my team members who have mommy guilt is time blocking. And I have a Vimeo channel where I did an extensive video on time blocking, and I highly recommend that you go watch it.
Lindsey, this is Hilary too. And I'll just say, I want to make sure I say, is it Zane?
Yeah, Zane.
Okay.
Zane.
Okay, Zane. So when I started Isogenics, I had no babies. Our kids are 11, 9, 5, and 4. I've had them all in my build. So let me tell you, at first, we did not have any money. That's why I started Isogenics. And so people, Kathy was like, get a sitter. And I'm like, no. And she's like, get a sitter. I'm like, no. And she was right. I was wrong. And that's why she owns the company. So here's what I can tell you. Like if you had 4 hours a week that you could dedicate 100% of your time in 4 hours a week, and you could enroll 4 people within that time who even all just did, and we always go for value packs, but even if those people did 30 days, and then you add up your cycle, I mean, that's like $300 to $400. You could pay a sitter $10 an hour, that'd be $40. Like what I found is don't spend dollar time on penny jobs. And my kids now, like I said, are 11 and under. My husband's traveling back from our event. This is an hour long. Like I told my 11 and 9-year-old, look, watch your brothers, and the door is locked and this door is locked. And that make me sound like a bad mother. But I mean, they can handle it for 1 hour. I'm still in the house. Like
my door is locked too, by the way.
I know. I mean, I can hear them like pounding around in the upstairs because I'm in the basement. So I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but something just fell off the counter. But the thing is like, you just make it work. And I think like people think it has to be perfect. And when you have two kids and at the ages of yours, it's not going to be. You just do it anyway. And they grew up seeing you figure it out. And then they learn to figure it out, which is so cool. So just, you know, remember why you're doing it. I mean, I would go out, I would get in my van in my garage and I would lock my van door. Like, and sometimes my 5-year-old would be like knocking on the van door and I'm like, one more minute. And if that makes me a bad mom in your mind, I don't care, because my kids have total choice freedom of like a million things because I made a decision that my kids were my reason, not my excuse. So you just figure it out, Zane, and you're doing the right thing. I mean, if you went to Celebration, if you're doing there on this Zoom, you know, you're doing the right steps, just continue to do it. And I would really look for like even a teenager that could come, you know, 3-4 hours a week. And I promise you in that amount of time, you'll make the money of what you would pay that sitter.
Yep. Okay. I know that was super basic, and I'm definitely going to go find your Vimeo because I have 1,000 more questions. So
Time blocking. It released a lot of my moms of mom guilt.
Okay.
Any other questions? That was a good one though.
Just unmute your line you're on your computer in the bottom corner. All right, you guys, this is your chance. You have her for a couple more minutes. If you have any questions.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Christine, go ahead.
Yes, I really like the products. In fact, I feel like, you know, I don't want to eat food sometimes just because I'd rather have something that feels good. But I'm not getting what I feel like is the results inside of me. I don't have that huge, you know, 3-day, 5-day, 10-day, you know, energy. And it's hard for me to sell that. I like the products. I think they're healthy. I've done a lot of science looking and stuff, but you know, now how do I approach people? Because I really want to do this program, especially for the financial program, because that product is wonderful too. And, you know, I'm having some argument within myself.
Right, because you're not getting the results. Well, I mean, I have a lot of questions that I would have to ask in order to really dial that in for you. But I would reach back out to your coach. The first thing I would make sure is that you have the appropriate calorie count, because that's not a one size fits all. Not everyone eats 1,200 calories a day and has success. I am 6'2" tall. I weigh 200 pounds. I would have died on 1,200 calories a day. So, so don't, you know, there could be a really complete, like an easy answer. Also, I would say 2-day cleanses are a must if you really want to have the really, really powerful results. People who are having like the incredible results are doing 2-day cleanses. So that's another thing that I would say that would be really important as well. So I would reach back out to your coach and really dial in the potential things that could be giving you a problem. And if your coach doesn't know what your calorie count should be, you know, you can message me and I'll give you what I think your calorie count should be. I can't coach you, but I can at least give you your calorie count and that information.
Thank you. That's awesome. I think you live just north of me, so.
Oh, possibly.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Awesome. Any other questions for Lindsey? We have time for one more and then we'll wrap up. So
hey, Lindsey, this is Suzanne Bates.
Hi.
Hey, I am having a really difficult time having those conversations, just starting those conversations. My warm market, like sisters, cousins, and whatnot, you know, they've seen my results. They're very impressed, but they really have no interest, which is fine. So I really want to build outside of my warm market, but I'm finding it difficult to just start those conversations. Do you have any hints on that?
Yeah, so I mean, I talk to everyone, not necessarily with the intention to enroll them, but with the intention to connect with them. So I didn't enroll a lot of my warm market. As a matter of fact, I'm 3 years in and my parents still have never enrolled and only 2 out of my 5 sisters have enrolled. So, you know, I really didn't enroll a lot of my warm market. I think that's probably pretty normal. You know, they don't want to feel like obligated or whatever. But I just had a lot of conversations. I was very transparent. I posted a lot on Facebook. I got out of my own way and shared embarrassing before and after photos. I mean, I was very overt about sharing, but I used social media a lot in the beginning because, you know, people saw me. They definitely saw my results, but I had a much larger audience when I was sharing things on social media. So if you want to have more people to talk to, you either need to go out and introduce yourself to more people. Again, not necessarily like verbal vomiting about isogenics, but connecting with them and, you know, creating friendships and maybe adding them to your social media where you can be more consistent about sharing. And then you do have to be consistent on social media. I did use social media a lot. I don't want anyone to think that I was just out talking to new people every day. Like, I used probably about 80% of my businesses from social media. So that is a whole nother skill set that is probably for a different call. But there's a lot of strategies and things around social media that you can utilize for your business.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks.
Lindsey, you've been so gracious with your time, so I want to thank you for that. And you guys, I mean, I have 3 pages of notes from what she said, so I hope you guys had your pens going. And the replay will be posted within the next 48 hours. Jen's flying home right now from our event, so she'll get it posted, and Lindsey, we'll get this over to you as well. But I just want to thank you so much. And the first 2 things I wrote down were, Lindsey said, it's up to me to figure it out. And then she said, no longer look up to your upline or down to your downline. Look inward and just be responsible for your team and go for it. So I just want to thank you for taking time out of your evening and away from your kids and family and sharing with us. We just appreciate it so much. So thank you. Everybody have a great night. We'll be on next week. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.